is beautiful Belmont Park. Got a little rain. It held off through almost the whole racing card was done. But it's July 8th. We got through the 4th of July weekend, and we got 9 racing days left until Saratoga. We'll be heading north. I'm Richard Migliore, joined by Maggie Wolfendale. Are you looking forward to Saratoga?
I am so looking forward to Saratoga, Richie. I think everybody has that same sentiment as we go up north, and just the racing becomes great. Not that it's bad here, but you know, every day is a day to look forward to. 2-year-old racing, of course, is what I really expect to find at its upper echelon. Well,
year after year, it seems like the best 2-year-olds are unveiled in Saratoga. And a former champion, not a 2-year-old champion, but 3-year-old champion and Horse of the Year, California Chrome, is back in the States, and he's in Chicago.
Yes, good to see him back. He did not get to run, unfortunately, at Royal Ascot due to a foot bruise. So they kept him there, didn't run him, but he's back here in the States. He's at Arlington, quarantined, preparing for a start in the Arlington Million, and that will be on August 15th. So looking forward to seeing Chrome back. You know, he's there with his groom, Raul Rodriguez, and exercise rider Anna Wells.
Well, you know, I hear some things. I hear that he looks a little bit on the light side from his international travels. I hear they have a little foot issue that they got a blacksmith going to attend to. So I actually wonder, Maggie, do you think he's going to be able to make the Arlington Million?
Well, it's all dependent on the foot, I would say, if the blacksmith can get that straightened out, because he has been in training. It's not like a lack of training. You just got to put that weight back on him, get the foot ready. So I don't think it's a far-off expectation, no.
I'd like to see him back on the dirt. I mean, I know he's 1-for-1 on the grass, but he was pretty good on the dirt, winning the Derby and the Preakness.
And the Dubai World Cup, he was second in there. So he's a dirt horse, but they want to give the turf another try.
Yeah, a good second in the Dubai World Cup. And talking about good seconds, about Firing Line's good second in the Kentucky Derby. Well, the news out of the West Coast, Simon Callahan, is that Firing Line's going to be done for the year.
Yeah, and here he is winning the Sunland Derby very emphatically. But going back to the Preakness, Richie, where we had that absolute deluge, he did come out of that race with an injury, as we will check out his stumbling start, a foot injury. Now, his connection citing that that's healed up. There's no real reason to give him time, just that they want to, because he did put in a very kind of taxing campaign earlier in the year of his 3-year-old season. So they're going to give him the rest of the year off, or I'm sure bring him back towards the end of the year and start training and prepping for the 2016 Dubai World Cup, speaking of which.
Well, it's kind of interesting. I got to think there's a little more going on there. I don't think anybody pulls the plug on the horse's entire second half of the year unless there's a little more than they're letting on.
I'm sure he has some niggling issues to deal with, and the best thing to do then is just turn him out and regroup and let him fill out as a 4-year-old.
Well, speaking of regrouping, and I don't know if this could fall into that heading, but Wicked Strong's going to try something a little different. Jimmy Jerkins entered him in the Forbidden Apple on the turf, and he was pretty good last year on the dirt as well.
Yeah, he was. He's been a tough luck horse. I mean, you think about our Jockey Club Gold Cup where Rajiv Mirage was unseated. He hasn't had the kind of paces that he needs in some of these races. He's just kind of chasing along on the outside. He was good that day in the Jim Dandy, but yeah, they're going to try him on the turf, a son of Hard Spun, and we'll see what he brings to the table.
Well, I talked to Jimmy Jerkins about it, and he said, you know, he wanted to change some things up. He feels like the horse is a little bored in his training, so that even if he doesn't run well on the turf, that maybe it'll just change his mind and he'll get something out of the race for him, although he did say he worked well on the turf. And,
you know, it's kind of funny that you say that, thinking of a horse that we'll actually see the replay of today, Frazzle. He won and paid nearly $80 2 starts back on the turf, woke him up, he came back and won on the dirt today. So it can do that with horses.
Well, horses like people, they can fall into a rut. They're going to shake things up. Wicked Strong, we know, is good, and we know Jimmy Jerkins is a great horseman.
Yes, he is. Another guy that's a good horseman, though, Shug McGahee.
Yeah, Shug McGahee. Well, speaking of Shug McGahee, he had a big favorite in race 3, Ironicus. All eyes were on him off his Dixie victory. Here's Larry Coleman.
They're off. And it's North Star. Tetradram on the outside, also with some early speed, and Our Emerald Forest from the inside is away running in third. Now moves up a spot into second. McElroy is fourth early on. Ironicus is fifth, 5 lengths off the lead and just ahead of Abtal as Tetradram takes charge up the backstretch and opens up the lead by 2.5 lengths. and goes by the opening quarter mile in 23 3/5 seconds. Tetradram opens up 2.5. Our Emerald Forest is second. North Star Boy is third, and then it's McElroy fourth up the backstretch and racing 5 lengths off the lead, and then it's Ironicus, and the trailer is Abtal. They continue with Tetradram in front by 2.5 lengths into the far turn. Clear from Our Emerald Forest in second of 46 3/2 mile. Then it's North Star Boy third to the outside by 2.5. Ironicus is outside of horses now, just to the outside of McElroy and 4 lengths off the lead. And Abtal trails the field. Still Tetradram by a length. North Star Boy on the far outside comes on. Our Emerald Forest right in contention between those two. Ironicus swings up 4 wide. Right behind them, McElroy and Abtal on the far outside. It is still Tetradram. Into the final furlong, Ironicus now comes running after him. And Ironicus, under a hand ride, goes right by Tetradram. And Ironicus is going to win wrapped up here. Makes it look easy. 2 lengths almost at the wire in front of Tetradram. And then it was Our Emerald Forest and Abtal.
Maggie, not only was this a fast race, Ironicus did this like he had something left.
I know, that was the most impressive thing of it. Excuse me, only a second off of the track record here, going a mile, and Javier has him under stout restraint, winning by 1.5 lengths at the wire. This was really impressive and just shows how much this horse has come into his own. I think 2015 has really been his year so far.
Well, it seems like Shug McGahee does that with most of his horses. They get better with age. This horse is 4 now, and I think we're just starting to see the best of him. And you actually had an opportunity to catch up with Shug McGahee right after this race.
Yes, I did. Shug, always full of good information. Here with winning trainer Shug McGahee, today's featured third race, Ironicus Shug. That looked as easy as anything in 1:32 3. That was a pretty nice time as well.
Well, I agree. I was a little surprised when I looked up seeing how easy he won and how fast they ran. And, you know, Javier told me, he said, I never really let him do anything, just sort of let him kind of creep by those horses and finish. And, you know, he just sort of, he's starting to really get onto it now. And, you know, I think the race in Maryland where he ran so good down there in the Dixie really helped him. And, you know, we were disappointed we didn't get to run him in the poker, but, you know, that's the way it is. He was coughing, and we elected to scratch him that morning. And, you know, we got a win today, and hopefully this will get us on to Saratoga.
Yeah, I was going to say, the 4-star Dave looks as to be good as anything for timing-wise. Is that where you're pointing?
Well, that's what our idea would be. I mean, obviously, you know, I don't think a mile is this horse's best distance. But up there will be a mile around 2 turns instead of around 1 turn like here. But, you know, he said he broke sharp. He said he could have been laying closer if he'd wanted to. But, you know, hopefully he'll come out of it good, and we'll look forward to that.
Well, he seems to be in excellent form right now. Ironicus, best of luck with him, Shug.
Well, thanks, Maggie.
Well, Maggie, Shug has an embarrassment of riches. Obviously, Ironicus, but we were talking about Reload. Also, maybe more suited to the mile than this horse, but it's hard to say this horse isn't suited to a mile, 1:32 1.
I know. Like you said, did it so easily as well. And, I mean, speaking of Reload, he's in the Forbidden Apple, and he'll probably, I mean, obviously you even have Vijack getting on the turf, too. Those kind of horses will probably take attention, but he's the horse to beat. He's the horse with the turf form. So, as you said, Shug with a barn full of pretty nice turf horses.
Yeah, I'm sure he's looking forward to Saratoga's Wee, and other horses might be pointing for Saratoga. Good field of maidens today. Race 7, a mile and a 16th. Couple of horses with big pedigrees. Here's Larry Colmus from Gate to Wire.
They're off. Abdar comes out quickly. On the inside, 2 Dares got speed. 2 Chase the Love came out on the outside of them, and they're followed by Indian Trail, who's away running in 4th. After that, it's Ice Cutter to the inside, Securities and Cosmic One. Then Lieutenant Dale, and the trailer is River Date. So the field races up the backstretch with Abdar pushed along by Chase the Love up front. They complete a quarter in a snappy 22 4/5 seconds. And 2 Dares, 2.5 lengths off of them, running in 3rd position up the backstretch. Then Indian Trail, the favorite, in fourth. Securities follows in fifth. And then it's Ice Cutter. Cosmic One's about 10 lengths off the lead. And then River Date and Lieutenant Dale. Abdar and Chase the Love really going at it here. Abdar pushed along by this 99-1 long shot through a half mile in 45 and 3/5 seconds. And now these two are 4.5 lengths ahead of Two Dare. Indian Trail's coming under a ride on the outside. Then Securities fifth down toward the inside. Ice Cutter is after that. And then River Date and Cosmic One around the far turn. And now Chase the Love has taken the lead. Chase the Love, turning for home, has put away Abdar, who's dropped out of contention as they come toward the top of the stretch. Indian Trail is there, and then Two Dare on the inside. They're into the stretch. 3/4 in 1:11 flat. Chase the Love trying to keep on going here at a huge price. But here comes Indian Trail, and to the outside here comes Ice Cutter. And now these two move up alongside, and Ice Cutter takes the lead. After that, it is River Date and Securities. It's Ice Cutter now in front. On the inside, Indian Trail, these two down to the line together. Ice Cutter has won it. And then it was Indian Trail, Securities, and a photo between Chase the Love and River Date.
A fast pace that Ice Cutter was able to relax, rally from off the pace on the Joe Rosario, and run down the full brother to Uncle Mo. Indian Trail, I don't think had a lot of excuse.
No, he really did, and I thought he got an ideal trip, posted towards the outside, sat that outside trip behind the pace here. And Ice Cutter, going back to 2 races ago, got the same kind of setup that he needed, where he ran a very good second behind Money Multiplier. And I think a horse that you have to look at moving forward was a third place finisher in here, Securities. When Abdar started fading dramatically around the turn there, he was trying to rally up the rail, and Regime Mirage kind of having to steady back there. And, at the end, he was still running, which I found very encouraging.
Yeah, actually, that was Jose Lascano.
Oh, sorry,
he
Jose
rode him first
Lascano.
time, Rajiv Mirage, and he had some trouble that day, and he had the look of a horse that when he stretched out, so I think it's a good call. I think he's a horse that will go forward. Horse that was disappointing, Cosmic One.
Been working well, just can't put it together in the afternoon, I think.
We'll give him time. He's still young. We got time as well. Time for our first break. We'll be back after a few moments. There is the iconic Secretariat overseeing all the goings-on here at Belmont Park in this beautiful paddock. Speaking of beauty, Saratoga, right around the corner. You can reserve your table today in the backyard picnic area or the all-new Carousel Sports Bar called Ticketmaster.com, or call 844-NYRA-TIX. Saratoga. I guess you can, instead of getting there super early and running for a table, you can reserve one.
You can take the leisurely route and say, hey, I got my table already. I don't need to run with you crazies. No, I'm kidding. It's a tradition that I'm sure still some people will follow, camping out at 3 a.m. for Travers Day to reserve that table. And I always like when I'm driving to work at 5:30 in the morning to get on horses. They are lined up and they're ready to go. I have much respect for those people that go and get those picnic tables.
Yeah, I think they enjoy that part of it as much as getting to the table and getting to a day at the races. Let's get back to our races. Race 8 from gate to wire, 7 furlongs on the Widener turf course.
They're off. Run for Logistics came out running well. Lone Trader on the outside. Sleeping Giant and Design for War from the inside. Enjoy the Show away running in 5th right behind them. Then Sunrise Sunset. Speeding Comet along the rail. Natural Order, White Bay going up in between horses. They're being followed by Whoopie Pie, Chunnel, and in a tight pack, Baldonald trails the field only 7 lengths off the lead. And it is Sleeping Giant who emerges up front. 22-3 was the first quarter for Sleeping Giant. On the inside, Design for War, Run for Logistics. Enjoy the Show goes up in between those two to be 4th into the turn. And then it's Lone Trader 5th on the outside and progressing 4 wide. Chunnel is also making a 5 wide bid toward the front runners. And they're followed by Whoopie Pie, Speeding Comet, Natural Order between horses. Then to the outside, Sunrise Sunset, White Bay, and Baldonald. 46 flat the half mile, coming toward the top of the stretch, Sleeping Giant. Run for Logistics alongside in second. Behind the leaders is Design for War. Enjoy the Show is right there too. And to the outside comes Lone Trader, who's getting involved late. Still Sleeping Giant to catch. Run for Logistics on the outside. And then it's Lone Trader, Design for War, and Enjoy the Show, followed by Speeding Comet, who's closing late between horses, coming down to the line. Sleeping Giant, Run for Logistics. Sleeping Giant won it. Then Run for Logistics, Speeding Comet, and Design for War.
Well, it seems like they've woken up this Sleeping Giant. He's put together back-to-back big efforts. And, Maggie, he did not want to get past in the stretch.
No, he didn't. Talk about a game horse. And he's shown that in both of his starts this year of 2015, coming back now as a 3-year-old. And this was a race that had the look going in where horses could get lost. And that's exactly what happened with Sleeping Giant. 8-1 morning line, 16-1 when they went across the wire. So it paid dividends to bet this horse and be clever.
Well, I just love watching that, especially that isolated replay there. He was sticking his neck out and his head out so far, and you could see the determination. I really thought this was fun to watch, and another strong finish. Junior Alvarado's one of our stronger finishers.
And he is riding lights out, riding very strong, as you said, but very smart, too. And I really appreciate it. He can read a pace well, which I really like, too. And well done, Steve Asmussen, and obviously Toby Sheets, who runs the barn up here and has done very well with Sleeping Giant.
Yeah, Toby does a great job. Well, we've got our scintillating 6 now coming up. Races 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, and 9.
Up through a 48 and 2.5 miles. Slow fractions as they turn for home. It is West Sedona off the turn in front. Louise Locke on the outside second. Tharyuk is third. And then it's Cat's Landing to the inside. On the far outside, Fortunate Sky is getting going late with a furlong to go. West Sedona's got the rail in the lead. West Sedona's in the clear. West Sedona's pulling away. West Sedona and Cornelio Velasquez with plenty left. They go away to win it by 4 lengths in the end over Louise Locke. And then it was Cat's Landing and Tough Year Paradise. Stretched together. Behind them is Underhill Drive to the inside. And then it's the Kennesaw Cat, followed by Kiss Cat and Get Hot, Stay Hot. The half goes in 47 and 2, and they're into the stretch. And it's Unrepented on the outside who goes up to take the lead. Unrepented has taken over from I Knew You Were Troubled as they come into the final furlong. And then it's Underhill Drive, the Kennesaw Cat. Toward the inside, Get Hot, Stay Hot, Kiss Cat. They're coming down to the line. Unrepented. And Joel Rosario win it by 3 lengths. And then it was Underhill Drive, Get Hot, Stay Hot, into Kennesaw Cat. Friesel rides the rail after a 47 and 1/2 mile. They're into the stretch, and there's running room on the inside for Friesel. Friesel is sent up the rail. On the far outside, Newman Ridge, one more night between, and right there too is Energetico. As they come into the final furlong, it is Newman Ridge on the outside. One more night, and Friesel along the rail. Real Estate Rich from far behind has kicked it in late as they come down to the line. Friesel, Newman Ridge. It is Friesel. Then Newman Ridge, Real Estate, Rich, and One More Night. Inside of Rico Suave and Sinatra's on the far outside. These 3 turn for home together. And now Sinatra. Sinatra runs for the lead on the far outside. Rico Suave. And battling on is here's Johnny from the inside. It's 3 lengths more back to He Has Charm. 1 furlong to run. And Sinatra's in front. Sinatra from Rico Suave. And then it's here's Johnny on the inside. He Has Charm and Dreams Cut Short closing late. But Sinatra has done it. And then it was Rico Suave. Dreams Cut Short and He Has Charm. Animal Appeal still the leader, but Psychiatry moves up alongside after a 44 and 3/2 mile. It's Animal Appeal and Psychiatry. These 2 turn for home together. And right behind them is Cosmic Tail running in third toward the inside. On the outside, Sauvignon trying to get going. Psychiatry in front. Into the final furlong. From Animal Appeal, Sauvignon to the outside. And then comes Bella Joy coming down to the line. Psychiatry, Sauvignon to the outside. It's Psychiatry over Sauvignon. And then it was Animal Appeal and Bella Joy. Down toward the inside, Miss Loretta Lynn and Nejma, and they're coming to the top of the stretch. Quit Smoking turns for home in front. To the outside, it's Awesome Quick. Down toward the inside, Julie D. Into the final furlong. Now it is Awesome Quick who's taken the lead. Awesome Quick from Julie D. Late Speed coming from Privately Speaking and Dot Product on the far outside. Privately Speaking closing the best, and Privately Speaking gets up to win it. Over awesome, quick on the wire, and then came Dot Product and Julie.
Nice day of racing. The weather cooperated. We had that shower. It still hasn't broken the humidity. I'm melting a little bit
poor
here.
Richie over here. I have to wipe him down with a paper towel. But yeah, the rain literally held off to the very last race. And you felt it get a little bit cooler, which I think helped the horses and people, obviously. But still, it's a humid day here.
Yeah, humid day. But let's go to our closer look. Get out the binoculars here, Cappy's binoculars, and psychiatry. I'm sure it did a lot for Tom Bush's mental health.
Yeah, when you're 0 for 36-7, heading into the end of the meet, it feels so good to get a win here. And these fillies set a really fast pace. Animal Appeal on the outside, she went at it hard here once again. I mean, setting a blistering pace, probably the fastest fractions that we saw all day, especially going the 7 furlong distance. And Psychiatry was right there with her. The pace held together pretty nicely. So well done, Tom and his team.
Yeah, and no doubt. And sometimes it doesn't always tell the tale when a trainer's over 35, because he did have 6 seconds.
Yeah, they've been running well.
So Tom Bush, a good horseman. Good to see him break through. Javier Castellano keeps on nibbling away at Irad Ortiz's lead, and usually it's the other way around. Javier in front, Irad coming.
This is also, it's a bit of a role reversal. You're right. It'll be nice to have a close race down to the wire here in the closing days of Belmont Spring Summer.
And Joel Rosario, our riding star of the day, with 2. Todd Pletcher kind of roared up to 39. Looking for that 40th, and kind of, just stagnated a little bit.
It'll be interesting to see if he can still break the record with 9 racing days left of 44.
Christophe Comano win today. Chad Brown, what a weekend he had. And the owner standings, David Jacobson, Michael Dubb tied up on top of the leaderboard.
Yeah, I can foresee that probably sticking the way it is, and that's a very good race down to the wire. And owner's race always tends to heat up, and Mike Dubb, he's been pretty strong throughout these last couple years.
Yeah, it seems like whatever time of year, and we've got a bunch of claims today. 12-way shake.
Wow.
One more night.
I know. They went. Toby Sheets, who had the horse before, said actually it was 14, but 2 were voided. So 12-way shake. And it will go to Neil Teresiano, new conditioner of one night.
Well, a quick timeout, our last break, and we'll be back to finish out this evening's Belmont Insider. A little raindrops on our camera there as we pan down at a beautiful Belmont Park, the biggest dirt track in North America, Maggie. And I've been so privileged to be able to grow up here, work here, first riding, and now doing this, and pretty cool place to be.
It really is. It's unique, and as always, it's iconic.
No doubt. And speaking of iconic, we've got an iconic New York bred in tomorrow. Compliance officer, 9 years old. We can take a look at him winning here last June. He's 9 now, Maggie. Can he find his form?
I think he can. Last time out, I would just put a line through that race. That was used utterly as a prep going the 6 furlongs. He's a horse who relishes this 1.16 distance. He's ultra tough, and Bruce brings him back in the best form possible each and every year.
Do you think, too, sometimes horses, when they're a little bit older, it takes them a little while to shake off the ring rust?
Sometimes they do. Sometimes, you don't want to train them quite as much going into that first race, so you use a race.
Well, he's going to have to face this 3-year-old upstart, bullheaded boy who's been pretty good on the turf.
He's 1 for 1 on the turf. He got an absolutely picture-perfect trip and ride last time. He's going to have to do it against a bit tougher tomorrow.
Yeah, he's definitely going to have to pick his game up. And another horse, a 5-year-old, Make a Decision, who's run against some pretty tough horses. You get some good company lines.
Yeah, he really does. The only thing I worry about for this race is it might be too short for him. I mean, he's been running very competitively, going 1.25 miles, and I thought he ran really, really well last time. So he's in good form. It's just, will he get the setup going a bit shorter of 1.16 distance?
Yeah, it definitely looks like he wants more of those marathons. Let's look at race 7. How about race 8 tomorrow, Maggie? We've also got... I guess we're going 7 furlongs. Havana, horse off a huge layoff that showed a lot of promise early on in his life.
And as we've heard Andy Serling say all, meet long, these long layoff horses seem to be unstoppable. A year or more, the better. As we see him winning the Champagne here, a bit erratic with his tail. He doesn't like feeling the whip too much. But the thing is, Richie, is he was a really, really fast and talented 2-year-old. 3-year-old form, well, he only has 2 races to go. Obviously, something happened in that Woody Stevens. is he ever going to be as good as he was as a 2-year-old? You know, a lot of horses just seem to stop then.
Well, and Todd usually has his 2-year-olds ready, so it's a really good idea there. Classy Class, another horse, a 3-year-old from Kieran McLaughlin.
Yeah, and this horse winning 2 starts back, really got, you know, an easy trip here, an easy lead, wasn't facing quite as much as he's going to tomorrow. I thought his Woody Stevens was okay. He's another horse, I don't know the 7 furlongs is really his ideal distance.
And Doc Allman, he's been in razor-sharp form, won at Monmouth, won at Delaware. Now he comes back to Belmont Park, where he was second when he was last seen here.
Oh, this horse is so frustrating for me. If you look back through his company lines, you'll see why. But he is in ultra-sharp form as of now. Want to see him come back and do it in New York here. He's been very good out of town, so we'll see if he has a good, but he definitely has the speed figures to take down this field tomorrow.
And it seems like when David Jacobson's horses get sharp, they kind of have the ability to step up in company.
Yes, they do, and I would foresee him being able to do so tomorrow.
Well, let's see what Andy Serling foresees tomorrow as we send it down to our handicapper insider.
Thanks a lot, guys. Let's try to get the late pick 4 on Thursday's card, start in the right direction. Race 6 at a mile and 16th on the inner turf. I think the drop down to a claiming price is going to work for the number 7, Mills, and trainer Bill Mott. Mills actually had a bit of a trip in his last start and ran better than it looks. I don't love the race he's coming out of, but relative to this field, it's a good race. And when he was trying to move at a crucial point in the turn, he was completely sawed off in that race. And that was after braking slowly. He gets a needed drop in class. And in my opinion, Mills is just too good for the horses he meets in the 6th race. And if we can get around 5-2 on him, that is good enough for me and a good way to start this late pick 4, perhaps with a single, as we head back to Richie and Maggie.
Well, Maggie, Andy was certainly on a roll down at Monmouth. He picked the exactly in the United Nations, with all that money going to Simon Bray's, the multiple myeloma foundation research. So that was a great thing. And the Jockey Club actually added $2,000 as well.
Oh, that's great. You know, we're all pulling for Simon to fight this terrible, terrible form of blood cancer, and we're wishing him the best. Hopefully he's still in high spirits. And I was working, obviously, when you guys, I took the slack for everybody here, so I was exhausted by the end of Sunday, to say the least. But your show was actually on replay this morning. I got to watch the opening 15 minutes of it. A nice tribute to American Pharoah as well.
Oh, yeah, it was a great opening show about American Pharoah. Did you catch the very ending, though, when Andy wore the dunce cap on air?
Oh, gosh. I'm going to have to DVR it for sure now.
Definitely check that out. Well, check us out again tomorrow right here on MSG Plus, Belmont Insider, the 51st day of this Belmont Spring Meet.